Today we are making turkey soup. So what you have to do is put your leftover turkey bones and turkey and all that from your Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner into a large pot full of hot water or just regular water. You're going to place the cover on it and turn it on to high heat so that it can boil and get all brothy. So to your soup, what you're going to prepare now is you're going to prepare and peel 4 carrots. You're going to dice up 4 stalks of celery, and you're going to peel and cut up 2 onions, and you're going to leave your potatoes to the side. I have 6 potatoes sitting to the side, and they're only small. So let's get started. After you've peeled and rinsed off your celery and carrots, you're going to start to dice them up. So you're going to do the same thing to your carrots, and instead of just having them on the bigger pieces you'll have, but on the smaller side, you're just going to make them into little discs. Doesn't have to be too thick, doesn't have to be super thin, because it's all going to get put into the soup later on. Be careful when using it. This is how the turkey bones are going. It's just started boiling about 5 minutes ago, so I'm going to continue to let it boil for half an hour. Don't forget to tidy up your area every once in a while so you don't have a huge mess. And I put all my scraps in a big bowl, except I have to take the onion peels out, because I'm going to give it to my ducks later on. While the turkey is still boiling, I'm going to finish dicing up my onions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut it in half again, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of finely-ish slice them up into about like this width of slices. once I have done that, I'm just going to slice them in half one more time because they seem to be a little too big. So just go around and do a quick slice again. Alright, let's do the same thing to our next donut. I've got about 10 minutes left before the bones and broth is ready to come off and to be picked apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my counter so that I can easily just go through and pick everything apart and put it into separate bowls for where it needs to go. So what I did was I put a thick cutting board on top of my countertop so I can put the pot on top and not burn my counter. I have a bowl for the turkey and a bowl for the bones so I can throw them away later. And that's about it. You're going to need a spoon and a fork, I guess, to tear everything apart. But other than that, that's about it. Alright, so the turkey broth boiled down is off the stove now, so I'm going to start to pick it apart.
Who are you talking to?
I have to do a video for school. For my nutrition class. To get some of the fat and grease out of your broth, what you do is you take a piece of bread and you find to where the grease and fat is, so like in this general area, and what you do is you place it down really quick and take it out, and you should have some grease and fat. Now that we have our broth back on the stove, I'm going to turn it on to the medium-high heat. And I'm going to start adding in our ingredients. So I'm going to add in the celery and carrots. I'm going to add in our onions. I'm going to add in the turkey that we just took out of the broth. And we had a bunch of turkey left over this year because it was a really, really big turkey and not a lot of family came over because of COVID. So we froze some of it in different bags. So I'm going to add one of the bags of turkey right into the pot. I'm going to save the Ziploc for later for those bones. So now that I have everything in the pot, I'm going to give it a quick stir, and then I'm going to add salt and pepper. Just a little bit of salt because there is quite a lot of salt from when we cook the turkey. And I'm just going to do a little bit of seasoning, and then I'm going to season to taste later. Always using a new spoon because we are in COVID. So that's the pepper, and for the salt, I'm just gonna do a little in my hand, just a little bit. Just sprinkle that all in. Give her one final stir, put the cover back on, and let it do its thing. I must say, it looks so good. I cannot wait to eat this. So don't forget, we still have to add our potatoes later on. We're just not adding them now so they don't get mushy and dissolve into our soup because no one likes mushy potatoes. Don't forget to occasionally stir your soup so nothing gets burnt or stuck on the bottom of your pot. Alright, so I have turned the burner down so it is on medium-low heat, and so that the soup is just at a simmer instead of a boil. I might turn it down just a little more. There you go. So now we are going to start peeling and cutting up our potatoes.
Don't forget to rinse off your potatoes.
Now you're going to cut your potatoes into decent sized chunks because they will cook down in the broth. So I'm not going to cut them too small, but I'm not going to leave them too big either because it's not a stew, it's a soup. So they're about that size. Yeah. About half my palm. I have added all the potatoes to the soup, so then I have turned the heat up to a higher temperature to bring it back to a boil to finish cooking the potatoes. And once the potatoes are cooked, I'll bring it back down to a simmer for a little bit and shut it off, and the soup will be ready and have to be warmed up before supper. Alright, so what I did to test my potatoes and see that my soup was done was I took a fork and I stabbed my potatoes, and when the fork can easily go through the potatoes, no like hard pressure, you know they're done. So this soup is done and ready to be served when supper is ready, which is not for another couple hours.